What's up, guys? Kevin Cage here. Hope all is well. All I ask is you like and subscribe, and let's get right into it. So I want to talk about a variety of crypto assets today, not only including XRP, but I also want to touch on some big news that I hinted yesterday regarding Chainlink. I want to talk Algorand, and then also Stellar, XLM, the Lumen. So let's get right into it. We have the cross-border payments panel, this discussion by the International Monetary Fund yesterday. We had some big players here, a vision for the future, talking about CBDCs teaming up between private and public sectors to get this job done, the promise of financial inclusion, breaking down the barriers, targeting the unbanked and underbanked, well over 3 billion people today in the economy. And yes, DLT will disrupt everything, but I think payments will be one of the most immediate pain points that needs to be solved today, specifically because cross-border payments, international payments, are roughly 10 times more expensive in certain regions than sending money domestically. And just like the PayID initiative with Open Payments Coalition that Unstoppable Domains is a part of, how can it be that it is simply easier to send a picture of a $5 bill to your friend in another country rather than sending the value itself? That is ridiculous, and a lot of us are stuck in our own paradigm. We don't really realize how paradoxical that is, how funny that is. And now what's happening is this transfer of wealth will be occurring. It doesn't happen in 1 year. It's been going on for quite some time, and it will be happening continuously. And not to be hypey, but those that properly hedge their bets, understand risk and reward, and diversify accordingly are going to win big. There are going to be digital assets. They're going to play a role in the future. In my mind, not to be hypey, yes, some will go to zero, but the ones that survive will thrive. And that is just my opinion from the things that I've seen in the years of my research personally. So some big players here, and I want to relate it because typically when you talk about crypto, we can't really mention these big players, but why am I mentioning them? Because Ripple, the company, has been working with these people for quite some time, even if it only is a consultant-like role with CBDCs or fiat XRP. A bridge is still needed, and it doesn't have to be 100% of all the global value, which would be awesome, and that is exactly what it is built to do with ILP and a variety of other assets, and a lot of other assets will complement one another, just like XLM. So of course, we have Kristalina, IMF director. We know her. We know, even Christine Lagarde, Madam Christine Lagarde, has spoken to Ripple on numerous occasions. Should be no surprise. We know even with the Trump administration, discussing with the SEC, going through the checklist. This is not news to us, just repeating it for any newcomers that are looking at XRP. Now, right here, Dr. Ahmed, he's the governor of the Saudi Arabian Monetary Authority, the central bank of Saudi Arabia. Now, you guys remember, we've had even Naveen Gupta of Ripple talking about the fees there. Absolutely astounding. We know that cross-border payments and even remittances and e-commerce, the CAGR year over year is expected to grow substantially. So do not look at market cap. Market cap is just a silly metric used for securities for stocks. All right. So right here, we know Sama, numerous occasions, even when they were testing with RippleNet, they had 15 banks going over all of this, and they said, okay, do we need to test this out in a sandbox environment? These people are so forward thinking that they said, they went over it and kind of went through everything. They said, no, we're good to go. You can just, go live. This is the type of innovation we need. This is the same threat that Ripple, the company, is giving for the US in moving their headquarters potentially for a friendlier jurisdiction and regulation. Is it all an act? Is it a true threat? Are they really playing cards? I couldn't tell you, but I'm going to keep an open mind and observe all of this and watch what happens. So we have them. We also have a funny meme that I always see. So we have Augustine Carstens, He was the governor of Bank of Mexico, as a background at the BIS board as well, which is the central bank of central banks. And I always see that funny meme talking about him being the final boss for Bitcoin. Always gives me a good laugh. All right. And also the FSB, the Financial Stability Board. I mean, we've talked about all of this, Group of 30, etc. We also have our man Jerome Powell, Federal Reserve, etc. We know that Ripple also within the first month or two, according to Greg Kidd of Global ID, one of the big investors in not only, I believe, Twitter, but also Ripple, no surprise, and holds 1% of the float, was meeting with he was at the Reserve Board as well as he worked there, and they were already meeting with the Treasury early on. All right. We also have, let's see. So this young lady, we have the governor of the Bank of Negara, Malaysia. So right in Malaysia as well. So we can see, Bachelor of Arts, etc. Huge backgrounds, governor banks. We have even, just think of Dr. Rajan, etc. And we also have actually the CEO of Stellar speaking at this event. And I know I said Danielle Dixon, apologies. Her name is Danelle Dixon. And I believe she also has a high-level background at Mozilla. All right. So right here, we have this article just talking about the IMF and everything they're alluding to. Without even getting conspiratorial, they have been calling this the Great Financial Reset, saying that humanity needs to work together, not even just financially speaking, but overall for the globe. If you guys go to the World Economic Forum's website, talking about pollution, technology, really just coming together and being, one team and actually working together to make the world a better place. Pretty interesting. So the IMF managing director calls for a new Bretton Woods moment. This is a very, very bold claim. Notice they published the speech written by the IMF's Washington, D.C. managing director, Kristalina, called a new Bretton Woods moment. This article has caused sound money and free market advocates to grow concerned that a big change is coming and possibly a great financial reset. Now, guys, I highly recommend, instead of just listening to me or YouTubers every day, go listen to the sources yourself. If you have not watched that 1 hour video on the World Economic Forum's website talking about this, and it was titled The Great Reset, please do so. It was released months ago. Really, really enlightening, and you pretty much understand what these regulators and government bodies are saying, and you can easily predict what will be happening, and even if it is at a snail's pace. All right. So something big right here, and I know I shared this on Twitter. Here's this quote from Raoul Pal, said, and her last name is actually pronounced Georgieva. I always say Georgieva, so apologies. Right here. If you don't think central bank digital currencies are coming, you are missing the big and important picture. And he tweeted this on Sunday, and this is a big shot, just so you understand. All right. He said this is going to be the biggest overhaul of the global financial system since Bretton Woods. The IMF article alludes to this huge change, but lacks real clarity outside of allowing much more fiscal stimulus via monetary mechanisms. So you have to understand, these are microstrategists, economists, all representing the World Economic, or the IMF. This is not my opinion, just sharing this. Take this with how you want it. And we remember that even Brad Garlinghouse, who is incredibly connected with the IMF and the people in power, let alone speaking with, Hong Kong Monetary Authority, meeting with the Central Bank of China in 2017. You guys have to be willfully blind to deny these network connections. Now, I'm not commenting on XRP mooning overnight, slowly and steadily. That's up to you. And it doesn't matter what I believe regarding that, because XRP is one of my largest positions. We're on the same team. And you guys don't need to agree with, you don't have to make other people agree with your beliefs to reaffirm your own. I'm honestly just open-minded to everything. And if that does in fact bother somebody, it says a lot about their particular beliefs. Now I want to talk about some exciting Chainlink news with Unstoppable Domains. Just so you guys know, I'll be brief with this. We have Unstoppable Domains. They are in fact a partner in the Open Payments Coalition with PayID that Ripple has created. This is about interoperability across the board, helping a variety of assets, a variety of protocols work together. Again, it is about competition, but also innovation and, of course, cooperation, co-opetition. All right, so right here we have Unstoppable Domains sharing this video in particular, and what this is essentially utilizing Twitter and Chainlink and their Oracle service. So now you can feel confident actually paying the right person by first verifying the Twitter handle controlled by the address that you're paying. So all in all, it is essentially way safer, and you're using the oracles tied to a real ID, the Twitter account, to the blockchain. This is the first time that this has ever happened. So I just want to play this 40-second video. I'll probably give some commentary and go over this. And notice, if you like, retweet, comment your domain name, and again, links are in the video description if you want to create a crypto domain, the first 300 people are getting a free verification. So check this out. So right here, make a payments, less scary. You can type in your domain. For example, mine in the top right of this video, you can see kevincage.crypto. So you can ensure that it is in fact connected to Twitter. So I'll connect it to my Twitter handle. So right here, you're going to go to the accounts, you're going to click my domains, and provided you followed the steps, and I do have a video tutorial going over all things Unstoppable Domains, just going through the feature guide, making it easier. I know there are a lot of older people that have actually sent me emails thanking me, just making it super simple, and I really appreciate it. If it just helps one person, that's why I did it. So right here, we have this gentleman. So we have mongo.crypto, and he's already claimed his domain. So we're going to click manage. And they made it super simple on the website, just so you can not have to leave the website and, search around. So we're just going to click verify in the top right. Notice these are cryptocurrency addresses that he already has linked to mongo.crypto. So for example, if I sent Ethereum or even Zilliqa to mongo.crypto instead of this long serial number, it would send right to a Zil wallet or Ethereum wallet or Bitcoin wallet. Very interesting, guys. Making these crypto wallets as simple as email. All right, we want to make sure that grandmothers, grandpas can use this technology, and in the future, they surely will be, and it's getting easier by the day. If you've been here since 2017, 2016, you've been watching the barriers to entry getting lower and lower, and a variety of assets getting easier to purchase on crypto exchanges. So we're going to click verify in the top right. Notice we have enabled Chainlink right here. And now you're just going to click your Web3 wallet with MetaMask, accessing this. As long as you have, your balance and you followed my tutorial, you should be good to go. We're going to actually tweet, and then you're just verifying it. You put the tweet out and then verify the tweet again with MetaMask. And I have this tutorial super slow in the video description if you want to follow step by step. So now when he types in mago.crypto and he wanted to send the address, you can actually see that Twitter has verified this utilizing Chainlink's oracles. Super great. Now this is even just additional account security overall. Wanted to share this because obviously Ripple, Chainlink, a lot of these assets are working together. So check this out, guys. I did retweet this as well. So right here, I want to go over this big thread regarding Bitstamp. This is all going to do with XRP. Now, I know back in the day, we have one of the first Ripple gateways. Now, this is not necessarily relevant today because gateways are not the same type of functionality that RippleNet uses, but I want to show you what they've been working on and also Blink, hint, hint. So we'll kind of go through a few things that I was screenshotting and sharing, and I know many of you know this, but kind of putting it all together sheds a lot of light with how far we've come. And this is only really back the last maybe 2 or 3 years. And you can go way deeper. You can look at investors. We know Ripple is invested in the Kraken early on, which also is, funny enough, one of the first banks to get a US banking charter or their license. It's not a coincidence. So right here, Bitstamp, one of the world's largest cryptocurrency exchanges, has now introduced, and this just happened, introduced an insurance policy that covers the theft and other losses of user funds held on its platform. Remember, even yesterday we showed Bitcoin, or Coinbase holds roughly $11 billion of Bitcoin on their exchange. We know insurance is necessary, security is necessary before the big boys can get their feet wet. We have Bitstamp. They integrate Nasdaq's matching engine for faster order executions. Well, who else has Nasdaq partnered with? R3, the behemoth, the Wall Street boys, the Lehman Brothers, the boys of trade finance. That is the big money, capital markets. We've talked about them quite a bit. Now we have Bitstamp with Bank of America integrations. Now, with this whole Integramat is rather interesting. We'll be keeping up with this. This happened, a month or two ago. All right, now keep in mind, Bank of America is, yes, a RippleNet member. Are they using XRP today? No, but we understand via a single API that anything is possible. Next, we have Bitstamp goes live on Blink, and it is with a C. This is the first exchange to enable instant and free Euro and British Pound Sterling transfers. This just happened in August. Now we're going to keep going to the next thing. So now we have BitGo, Ripple, Bitstamp, BCB Group, and the UK FCA. So this is the United Kingdom Financial Conduct Authority. Keep in mind, back in the day, they ruled that, and essentially said, that XRP has non-security characteristics, attributes. Now, funny that Chris Larsen, executive chairman of Ripple, has also said that in the UK, or London in particular, it would be a great headquarters for Ripple. They also mentioned Singapore, which is where the Algorand Foundation is based out of, and a variety of other countries, whether it is Japan, Liechtenstein, Luxembourg, Malta. There's so many countries, Switzerland, etc. So let's put this together. So we have Bitstamp becomes the launch partner for Blink by BCB Group. We're excited to announce Bitstamp will become the first crypto exchange to enable transactions on Blink, a new settlement network. Now, settlement is one of the keywords we're always looking for in this channel. By BCB Group that enables members to move fiat and crypto between accounts instantly 24/7 with zero transaction fees. This is the world we are moving towards. We know how high fees are today for moving money. We know the tier 1 banks are capitalizing off of this. Intermediaries in this ecosystem are nothing more than parasites, and DLT will be breaking this down. Smart contracts are the future. There's going to be a huge role to play, whether it is Ethereum, which I bet Ethereum is here to stay. I think XRP will do great things, and I'm excited for them to even hopefully take on smart contracts. I know people say that Codius is really not far developed, so there's talks on that, but with Flare networks, anything is possible. I think these assets are going to be complementary. I think tribalism is just rather silly. I'm going to be rooting for all these cryptos because I hold a lot of them, XRP being one of my biggest positions. All right? So, whoops, didn't mean to click there. We have Bitstamp supports the launch of PayID as well, just like Unstoppable Domains, no surprise. All right, and you guys can read about that as Pay ID. I'm sure you're familiar with that. Now we have BitGo, all right, selected by Ripple back in the day, 2019, to provide multi-sig security, advanced treasury management, and additional enterprise functionality for XRP specifically. And every time I see Ripple with multi-signature, what does it make me think of? Polysign. Why? Poly, just like polynomials, multiple, and sign signature. Just makes you wonder, specifically because they also talk about custody in future slides. So right here we have BCB Group, this British crypto firm that provides services to exchanges like Coinbase. Bitstamp, which also has deep ties with Ripple. Coinbase and Ripple have many of the same vested interests, just like Securitize. And they now officially are approved by UK financial watchdog, the Financial Conduct Authority, right out of UK. So just another coincidence. All right, and then last but not least, we have R3 and Corda integrated with BCB. So right here, we know they're integrated. The company's platform is enabled with proprietary API, application programming interface, no surprise that terminology, and integration into R3's blockchain network, Corda. Just sharing, and then also just so you guys have proof, I know I've shown this actually on the source a million times. We have right here, Ripple's XRP deemed to have non-security attributes by the FCA based out of the UK. No surprise. All right, already went over this with Bitstamp. Right here, we did have, now this was in June, and it's just funny how these pieces come together. It's almost just like chess pieces moving this show. So we know that I do like over Tether, which I do not trust USDT, whatever. I don't want to gamble with my money. I just don't believe there's a lot of certainty there, and I'll go over that trading volume in this video. But this USDC coin by Circle, Jeremy Allaire, of course, one of the big CEOs of this fintech, had this chat with the CEO of Stellar, Danelle, in the past in June. Funny enough, last week what happened? We had the USDC, this coin, will soon be available on the Stellar blockchain. So we have an additional chain. We know that USDC has also created a chain on Algorand. This is not coincidental. We know Arrington Capital has a variety of investments in Algorand as well. Many people have different beliefs, but I think that XLM is tightly ingrained within even just the retail sector and the banking sector. There's a variety of CBDCs. Some will be wholesale, some will be retail facing. All right, and you know my beliefs with XRP. Oh, thank you, man. I didn't even see that tip. All right, so right here, this is the CEO of the Stellar Foundation, Danelle. She was speaking at the IMF panel, as I already touched on. We'll keep going. Now, I wanted to share this on Algorand.Foundation. This is the Asia Accelerator. This was just announced. We can see that they named 10 blockchain startups in this batch, and they're kind of offering funding. This was based out of Singapore. To no surprise, we can see right here the Algorand Foundation Limited is incorporated in the Republic of Singapore. I wonder why. I think you guys know it is a fintech hotbed. So kind of going through some of these companies, this is a 12-week accelerator program. You can check this out, but essentially featuring the following 10 startups. We have a variety of them. We have DexTF, we have Neutron Finance, Lawcoin, Obsidian Labs. I've already done that comprehensive Algorand video. You can type in Kevin Cage Algorand review, and you can see what they're working on. This is why I'm bullish on a lot of projects. I am simply a utility maximalist. My job here is to get a return on my investment, and hopefully you guys don't get caught in tribalism and do the same thing. And yes, XRP is one of my biggest holdings. It will continue to do so until I see something more concerning, because based off my research, and I read a lot, I check Ethereum daily. There's so much going on, even in the DeFi space, hundreds of thousands of projects built on this asset. I don't think it's going anywhere. Yes, I know it has its limitations and issues, proof of work, its migration, and all of that, but it has clarity. It has a lot of incentivized builders that have made millions of dollars, and what do? They funnel that money right back into the ecosystem. So you better believe there's a lot of vested interests. We know Consensus acquired JPM's Quorum. I could go on and on and on. I just believe that there's going to be a variety of assets. All right. So right here, so we have Bithum. I pronounce it Bithum. I know some say Bithum. So we have 88 million XRP have been moved by Ripple in the South Korean on-demand liquidity platform. This is early days, guys. In the scheme of things, I know 88 million overall between these groups is not much. If you guys want to know 2 days value, that's approximately $21 million. So we're just getting started. I don't think people comprehend the type of volume. You've seen the valuation frameworks made by Robbie Mitchnick for XRP. He is now lead of blockchain at BlackRock, one of the biggest custodians in the world. I'm talking, 7 trillion plus assets under management. We have Susan Athey, who was at the Bilderberg Group on the participation list years ago. I just don't think people comprehend the caliber of people connected to this ecosystem. You can even draw, and I'm not getting political by any means. Honestly, I really don't care. I'm here for a return on my investment and try to give back and make the world a better place. But there's deep ties to Trump administration. We know the Obama administration had a DLT group as well. This has been going on for years, well beyond the main 2017 bull run that us everyday people have heard of. All right. Right here, so we have MoneyGram. We know Ripple owns roughly 10% stake in them, and PayMaya introduced real-time payment solutions, RTP, for fund transfer from the US to the Philippines. We know Philippines is one of the live on-demand liquidity corridors today because there's tons of friction and real people need it for their families. This is solving a real problem. I just want it to scale like crazy. I'm sick of waiting. I'm right there with you. I want XRP volume to go up accordingly. I want whatever excuse they're using, clarity, liquidity. I want this to develop quickly. And of course, I'm willing to wait until I see something truly concerning. I'm not going anywhere. We are seeing developments. We are seeing even additional hints. If you guys paid attention to that one thing with Ripple in the C-suite, these are signs of companies going public. Now, I don't think they're going public by end of year. I would love to be wrong. But even if it is next year or in the next 2 years, like Circle and Coinbase, these companies are going to do so. They want to raise funds, and they are going to be global leaders in this payment space. There's no doubt in my mind. All right. So right here, we have MoneyGram, of course, Ripple Partner. They used, on-demand liquidity in the past as well. And we know they're teamed up with Visa Direct. We've talked about Visa. They acquired Earthport, which is a RippleNet partner, a huge hub and spoke model. We can dot connect forever, but at the end of the day, we are here for utility. So I just want to draw those connections, and you can go as deep as you'd like. You can look at, 11 billion for US-based remittances. You can look at the, growth rate, the expected year-over-year returns. You have to pay attention to this because this is very telling. All right. Right here, XRP Crypto Wolf. So I know we've seen this before, but the market for institutional grade trading services for crypto is maturing. No surprise. So 2020 saw over $251 million across invested throughout the cryptocurrency venture space. Now we know there are 40 companies that provide crypto asset trading services for institutional clients. I know I've shared documents in the past going over a bunch of over-the-counter services, asking if there's any, big players watching this channel. Sometimes I get some really interesting emails and some very, very big people, very interesting and exciting for this space. All right. Next, so we have XRP Crypto Wolf again. So we have Bank of Canada. We know that, Canada overall, Royal Bank of Canada, all of these groups, Project Links, a lot of these projects with ILP as well, between Singapore, Japan, should be no surprise, have utilized and tested Interledger protocol created by Ripple. It is just funny to me, the people that don't do their research, they just don't get it, and I have no need to try to convince them. I've watched, and paid attention to Chris Larson selling his companies years ago for hundreds of millions of dollars, talking about Ripple being this protocol, talking about digital assets, interoperability protocols like ILP before it's even invented, and then they come in and say this, and it's already being used by banks, central banks, I might add, some of the top 40 and 50 banks in the world. This is not coincidental, and the truth is that some of this may take longer than we want, but I am not going anywhere because I've seen too much confirmation. I know the risks, but I'm not turning back. I see the push, and I'm not missing out this transfer of wealth. I didn't come here to, buy, wait a few years, and then give up after the fundamentals are still screaming loudly. This is just like in the 90s during the dot-com bubble. If you pay attention to that, I know you've seen, what is his name, Tika Tawari. I don't know if you guys are a fan, but he showed the stats, and he showed in the 2 years in the 90s when the overall dot-com bubble crashed, there was a period, kind of before the dot-com bubble, there was a period of more institutional accumulation, like trillions of dollars, than ever before, but the prices were manipulated low. I'm talking 90% from their all-time high. What are we seeing in crypto? The same freaking thing. We're seeing assets 95, 98% down from their all-time high for several years. This is a joke. You see banks are utilizing this technology. This is groundbreaking. It is not going to last forever. Now, some assets that are completely speculation, have fake promises, yeah, they may go to zero. That is why I blanket and diversify across a variety of assets. And just like hedge funds and back in the day when they're in the dot-com bubble, you go across 10 assets, and this is not financial advice. I'm just telling you what they did. Go across 10 assets, you lose all in 8 assets, but 2 winners in that space will outwin tenfold. So you guys do what you want with that, but please look at the parallels between the dot-com bubble. I know I have a lot of smart people that have lived through it and witnessed it, so pay attention to that. So we have Bank of Canada hiring an economist for digital currencies. Yeah, they're hiring this because there's no push for digitalization. Of course there is. Fintech as it researches the possible creation of digital currencies. We already had that comment from Raul, a MicroStrategy economist at the IMF, talking and saying CBDCs are coming. This is not my opinion. This is happening. So the economist will analyze the electronic money and payments like crypto exchanges, stablecoins, which will have a place, and I most believe in, obviously, algorithmic stablecoins based off of mathematics, not based off of pure trust. All right, CBDCs and crypto assets, both private and open. All right, and then last but you know what, we'll keep going because I'm excited for this video. So new data shows how dominant Tether has become as a trading pair on crypto exchanges. You guys know the stats. Be safe. I mean, look at this. 70% of trading volume at exchanges is now denominated in Tether. I think you guys are aware of many tricks that these exchanges, trading bots, and market makers do in whales that are very, very sneaky. So please be safe. Know that most of the volume today is fake. They want your money. And I know many channels don't want to say that. They want to hype you and say we're going to the moon tomorrow, but I'm just telling the truth. Be aware. I mean, there are wolves amongst the sheep, so be safe out there. All right? Right here, also just want to make this announcement. So we know that the OCB, this is the Orient Commercial Joint Stock Bank, one of the largest Vietnamese banks, worth $4.6 billion worth of assets under management, has joined RippleNet as a strategic partner, according to a LinkedIn post made by its head of fintech and project management, and I can't pronounce that name. All right, so keep in mind, we'll just watch this develop. We know that there's been huge announcements for Ripple's partners like D-Money utilizing ODL, and also TP Bank getting some alliance awards. Very, very exciting. All right. Now, also remember the World Bank, guys. This is a great thread shared by I Am Legion. So we have the World Bank in 2017 praising XRP as an innovative technology, saying XRapid was an innovative technology that is a software utilizing XRP. So we have the World Bank 2019 opportunities for private enterprises in emerging markets. You best believe that the IMF, the BIS, all of these groups are not prepared to innovate. They're going to be teaming up and leveraging the money and innovation of the private sector, like Center Consortium with Circle, like Coinbase, like Ripple, like, all of these groups. And it's quite evident. I don't know why anyone would think they're just going to make their own in-house entirely. We know Accenture is working with these groups for digital transformation, one of Ripple's first investors. So clear. All right, so just to speed through this, you guys can see, talks on ledgers, connecting traditional. We have Ripple named right here, permissioned, public, shared ledgers. We also have, remember, DASL, digital asset shared ledgers. We have, Lab, I'm going to butcher it, Lab something, and his name was, Richard Crook. Connected to R3 and all of these groups. Super, super, super evident, guys. All right, we also have Ripple has more than 75 banking clients. This is old but gold. It's just funny seeing this back in the day. Goldman Sachs, Santander, many of RippleNet partners are backed by Goldman Sachs. These are the behemoths. I think a lot of them are also backed. Goldman Sachs backed R3. Do not be, disguised by the shell companies, subsidiaries. It is all a game. The big boys, the wealthy, stay on top. All right. So we have Corda, technically more of a messaging protocol, Ripple, and then also, so we know Corda also has now settlements as well. There's also been some announcements on XDC, if you guys are familiar with that asset. I bought it a long time ago. It's just been fluctuating. I don't really trade that. I've been, trading other assets when I can, but right now there's a lot of uncertainty in the market, so I'm just waiting for validation or invalidation to make a move. Okay, enough of my ranting, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. We talked about cross-border payments, the IMF announcements, Algorand, Chainlink with Unstoppable Domains announcement. We have XRP, 88 million on the move, new Vietnamese bank partner. We have Moneygram expansion. I could go on and on and on. And of course, all of those Bitstamp connections. Now that dot connecting, it's so funny because time and time again, you get comments on videos and they roll your eyes. Oh, this is all speculation. You have to speculate in a speculative investment. And you would not believe some of the great researchers in this community that put information out and then 1 or 2 years later, it comes to fruition. It is absolutely astounding. And you know what? There were lunatics just like us in the dot-com bubble. And I love being a lunatic. I hate being different, but I'd hate to be normal. It's funny because this is being called the new normal. Last year, for years, there's been people predicting negative interest rates. It's happening right in front of our eyes. This is crazy. And in such a state of geopolitical tension, economic uncertainty, the biggest risk that you can take is not taking any risk. I don't care if you believe me, agree with me, to each their own. But please, I encourage you to do your own research. As always, I appreciate it, and video links in the description for unstoppable domains. Have a great rest of your day, guys.